Hello everyone, I am Dilusha Gamage. Welcome to Ambeon Insights. In an industry defined by rapid disruption, constant reinvention, and unforgiving competition, the effective leadership requires much more than technical expertise. It requires vision, resilience, agility, and also continuous commitment towards the transformation. And our guest today is one such leader at the forefront of enterprise tech. And he is guiding his company that has steadily expanded its footprint towards the global markets. And also, he's shaping this company to transform itself from being a traditional technology company to become a forward-looking digital solution enterprise. I welcome Mr. Sampath Jayasundara, the Chief Executive Officer of hSenid Business Solutions PLC. Sampath, welcome to Ambeon Insights.
Thank you very much for inviting.
Sampath, could you briefly walk us through, first of all, on your career so far and what really brought you to become the CEO of hSenid and how was your journey look like?
Oh, I had to, that's a long story,
Okay.
But I'll try my best to make it short. So I was from Columbia University doing the degree, and then I thought I had some free time, joining a company and start working early before even passing out. So I joined Carson's group by then. There was a company called SKC Computers and later became Cillian Systems, you might have heard about.
Okay.
So I joined that company and worked for a while. And then I met Dinesh at Columbia University, UCSC, where he came to listen to us while we were doing some presentations. So he invited me to join, but I first didn't accept that offer. So because I'm working for a reputed company, Dinesh was running a startup. So and again after a year or so, Dinesh called me back and asked, can you come and see me? I want to have a chat. Then I decided, okay, I should take a risk and join a startup. So that's how I joined Dinesh way back in year 2000. So I start my career as a tech person, doing development work, project implementation work, project management work. So during that time, there was no defined jobs. You are a software engineer, you are a quality assurance engineer, you are a business analyst. We had to do everything.
Okay.
In the entire life cycle of a project, we had to get involved. So when I joined hSenid, again, I joined as a team lead and I had to manage a team. So I was doing a little bit of technical stuff, but more onto management then. So then I became the operations manager after some time, and then head of business development and support, then the general manager. And then Dinesh appointed me to the board way back in 2006. So last 20 years I'm serving as a board member at hSenid Business Solutions. And in fact then Dinesh invited me to be the CEO of the company in year 2014, if I'm not mistaken, 2014 January.
Okay.
So last 12 plus years I'm heading the company.
So you have seen the whole life cycle of hSenid from the beginning to up to now.
Of course, so it's an opportunity as well. I still can remember when Dinesh came and asked, Sampath, there's an area, business development area is weak. So can you check that area? If you feel like you can develop the business, why don't you move to that area? So I told Dinesh, I'm an operation guy, I'm a good project manager. So I'm not too sure about the business development work and sales and marketing. So I'll try.
Okay.
So it works. And so I start developing global markets.
Right. And Sampath, I think you are an academic as well.
Yes.
That must be your passion. So
Yes.
how do you find time and how do you enjoy that side of life?
Yeah, so I start, you will not believe this, I start doing A-level mathematics tuition in mid-90s.
Right.
Okay? That's the era where there was a syllabus change and couldn't find people to deliver mathematics lectures, especially in English medium and stuff like that. So So I got the opportunity to move to that area, and I was lecturing. And then I got the opportunity to lecture at NCC Education and Charles Sturt University, Australia. So that's how I started my lecturing career. And then I started professional lecturing early 2000 era. So IPM, now CIPM, invite me to deliver some lectures. So I started lecturing there, and then of course Columbia University, and then our own institute, PIM, Postgraduate Institute of Management, University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. So it's not a job. It's like your passion. So when you engage with students, when you start sharing the knowledge or whatever things you know, and you enjoy a lot, and so you can still devote time. But what I don't like is paper marking and assignment marking. Delivering lectures always I enjoy.
That is something you enjoy.
Of course.
Okay, and Sampath, now what personally motivates you for choosing a career in tech? I think especially in a rapidly evolving industry, it's not easy to be relevant in tech. What motivated you to be in that?
So I was looking for challenges from day one. I didn't want to sit in front of a machine and do some work morning to evening. I want to explore things because I was listening to Imran Khan so many years back. I think late 80s, if I'm not mistaken. In front of a crowd, he mentioned a very interesting thing. He mentioned, you all have great potential. Some people explore their potential, some may not. People who explore their potential become leaders. Others will work for them. This actually, I don't know, somehow hit my mind.
Very strong message.
Very strong message, if you really look at it. Even for young guys to look at things differently, that's a very strong message if you really look at it. So I thought I should start exploring. Then we realized IT industry is booming. You all know most of IT companies started during that era, mid to late 90s. And we realized that is one of the fastest growing industry locally and globally. So we want to be part of that growth journey. So I'm one of the luckiest person.
Okay. And Sampath, now maybe some of our audience may not be very familiar about hSenid and what really hSenid is operating in. So how would you describe the company's core purpose and the value propositions? What hSenid is about?
Yeah. So our theme is make life easy. So we do HR systems for the global market.
Right.
So you have to make sure HR departments use our platform to serve their employees. That is the most important asset. If you really look at even today with AI world, still people matters a lot. So we are designing and developing systems to make them happy. Employee, final most valuable person, employee. So that's what we are doing globally. So we are into enterprise IT area, and especially as a SaaS product. We are delivering our services globally. We operate in 3 regions at the moment. One is, of course, South Asia, including Sri Lanka, then Southeast Asia, and Middle East and African region. African in the sense, East African belt. So the products we developed in Sri Lanka, we sell in these 3 regions, and we cover 40 countries at the moment. So
40 countries?
Yeah, we have 1,700 plus customers in 40 countries.
Okay.
So very good user base, more than 1 million user base access our platform and use this platform almost daily basis. So we focus on developing HR system for the global market from Sri Lanka.
Okay. And what are the business verticals that are currently the strongest growth in the company? Now when you say HR solutions, there can be different verticals?
Yeah, so our mandate is to focus on the HR domain.
Okay.
So primarily we are a SaaS enterprise HR platform. Apart from that, you can grow the business on the same line. Okay, our whole objective is actually to take one product and go to global markets into multiple regions and be a leader in certain regions. So of course there are certain services we do with HR product, SaaS operation, like HRO service, human resource outsourcing. If a company want to outsource their payroll with tech support, so we are there to deliver that. So we do access control related stuff because that is also part of our domain. So it can be a finger scanning machine, it can be a face recognition, it can be door access control or barricade or whatever. That area also belongs to our scope. So these are the primary business we operate Sri Lanka and these countries I mentioned. So our whole objective is take one product and make it world class and go to world with that product.
That keeps you more focused on what you want to deliver.
Fast moving world, if you start focusing too many things, you will lose your focus. But if you maintain the focus, if you keep on developing the product, it's not like 80s and 90s, you develop a product and then you can use that product for 10-15 years. But it's not so. With the AI world, you have to keep on doing it, keep on improving.
Rapidly evolving.
Agility is very important. So that is why we thought we should focus on this domain and keep on doing that.
Okay. And Sampath, after hSenid got listed in the Colombo Stock Exchange a couple of years back, from there onwards, for some time it has been a loss-making company. But in the last couple of quarters, it has returned to a profit-making territory. So what does this mean to hSenid? So how you have achieved that, and how are you going to sustain that?
So when we list our company in Colombo Stock Exchange, we are making profits.
Okay.
So we raise funds for what? So there are a few things. We raise funds for 3 things.
Okay.
One is to develop product further, make it like an enterprise grade software for the global market. So we told our shareholders, one investment goes into product area. Second investment goes to market development. So we are developing primary 2 markets. One is the East African belt, countries like Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, that piece, Eastern African belt, and also Southeast Asia. If you really look at it, I'll take example like countries like Philippines and Indonesia, where during last 3 years I invest my time most. So if you look at the population, is 400 million in these 2 countries. So there's, if you look at the opportunity, it's huge. Okay, so we went into these markets, so we invested in these markets. Okay, third area is potential acquisition if possible. So with the dollar price and stuff like that, we didn't want to pursue that part, acquisition part, but we invested on these 2 areas. That is, one is product, on the other hand, market development work. So the challenge is when you do these 2 things, you have to run the investment through your P&L. So it is not a factory you're putting and going through the balance sheet, so when you are investing, you start making losses. I always say our business is like hockey stick. Okay.
What does that mean?
Just imagine a hockey stick. So first of all, when you are doing the investment, your profitability will go down. Okay, because the cost you have to run through the P&L, so your profit will go down. So when you keep on investing, so it turns. Then the good news is so upside is pretty much high and it's stable. Now when you start covering your cost from recurring revenue, so we call it annual recurring revenue. Annual recurring revenue means customers are paying subscription every year. So when you cover the cost structure from annual recurring revenue, so you, but same time keep on acquiring new recurring revenue as well. So you can actually now hockey stick we have passed the bottom.
The turning point.
Now we are making profits. So that's how things work. So you have to first invest, you have to run through that P&L, you have to make losses. But of course, we know the game plan. It's not it's by design, not a mistake. So you invest and you develop the market. Now only these markets are giving us returns. Now if you look at the Philippine market, we have almost 90 customers now. If you look at top 5 recurring revenue customers, most of them are from Philippines. Indonesia is another growing market for us. Okay, we operate in countries like Brunei, Cambodia, and that region. That is a potential we have as a Sri Lankan company. You can go to global markets, and then we can contribute to dollar earning. Country also will benefit.
Yeah, and just like the hockey stick, is it right to say now the steep growth is also expected?
Of course, so obviously there are challenges with the AI world, but of course but we are very focused and I think we can.
And Sampath, now, how do you view the current technology solutions market in Sri Lanka and also in the broader regional areas that you're operating in? How is the market looks like and what do you expect to be happen in the future?
Good thing is technology area is changing.
Yes.
If you look at just look at last 3 years, what is happening? Okay, so we went through .com era so many years back, mid to late 90s, where we came to the industry. So we went through .com bubble and .com crash, and so we managed our businesses during that era. Now we are going through AI era after maybe I would say 30 years. Okay, so there's so much of opportunities if you look at Sri Lanka at the moment producing 15 to 17,000 IT related graduates every year from government universities and private sector universities. If you look at the world demand, especially for AI assisted development work or AI and technology mix, demand is extremely high. So there are two sides. One is company point of view, hSenid or any other company operating from Sri Lanka. You have to look at the global markets because demand in the global market is extremely high still for technology. So you have to go and grab these opportunities and you can use Sri Lankan talent to operate in this area. Even as an individual who is passing out from the university or maybe already working, so it's matter of trying to find the right skill set required by the market. You have to sharpen your skill set. That is very important. You can't say I know this technology and I can survive next 10 years. No. Okay, you have to look at what is required next year, next 12 months, next 18 months. So you have to keep on learning. The good thing is there are so many platforms where you can learn on your own. Only requirement is you have to unlearn and relearn. That's the beauty. If you are capable of unlearning and relearning, there are enough opportunities for you. So individual point of view, there are opportunities. Company point of view, there are many opportunities outside Sri Lanka. But only thing is you have to go and grab. If you look at even the Asia is, of course, there are financial challenges everywhere in the world, but there are opportunities as well at the same time. So Sri Lanka, I personally believe Sri Lankan talent. If you compare Sri Lankan talent with other countries, I don't know to name countries, but we are very much better. So our guys can deliver good results if you go out and do some work. So there are big opportunities for Sri Lankan companies, but of course you have to work with the latest technology. So if you are running a company with outdated technology, and I don't think there's a future. So you have to keep on moving with the latest technology.
So in terms of the challenges, what do you see as the challenges now? To grab these opportunities, are there any challenges that you're facing?
I'm always telling people, if you think small, you will be small.
Right.
If you think big, you will be big. You have to think about world leaders, what they are doing and how they are doing. You have to dream to be big. Okay. One of the biggest challenge with our island mentality, people won't see the big picture and people won't go and challenge things. I'll give 2 examples. In year 2004, if I'm not mistaken, I went to Dinesh and told Dinesh, I want to go to Africa. Okay. Dinesh asked me, why Africa? I said, no, there's opportunity. I want to go and see. Dinesh asked, is it safe to go to Africa? I said, no, I already did my research work. So I got the yellow fever vaccine done. I got the malaria tablets. Okay. I'm ready to go. I'll go and explore this market. I have opportunity. So I went to Tanzania. Without knowing the country situation. No, I did some research today you can't go to AI tools and ask give me a full profile of this country, this region, and only thing is web is available with limited access, so you can do some search. Okay. So I went to Africa and I won an account in Africa. Okay, and that's how we start the African business. So if you are not doing that, and you will lose opportunity. Once again, my personal experience, I was doing a project in Ireland so many years back, I think 2002. So way back, I want to see my friends in London, so I wanted to stay a few days. Then my friend from Colombo, we used to lecture together, asked Sampath, there's a university called University of Greenwich. why don't you just walk in and talk to their international office and see whether we can get affiliation. I was a very young guy. I just walked into the university very next day. I went to the main office and asked, where's this international office? And I said, I want to meet the head. Okay, then I went and had a long chat with him and built a relationship. 1 year later, we managed to get affiliation to Sri Lanka. So my point here is, if you're not exploring things, you will not achieve different results.
It's always challenging.
It's always challenging. Like you have to accept challenges. If you have to do things differently, and you have to do different things. These two also different. You have to do things differently. What you used to do last week, if you're doing it the same way, you can't expect different results. At the same time, you have to try different things as well. So, because you're not going to lose. If university says like, no, we can't give you, it doesn't matter. I'm not losing anything.
Yes.
It's another experience I'm gaining. Okay, Africa also same. Like since we explore, we even later got the opportunity of automating the entire government of Uganda HR system. Now 400,000 employees' salaries and 50,000 pensioners' payment paid from our systems monthly.
The Uganda government.
Whole Uganda government is running our platform, HR. From recruitment to retirement, the entire platform automated by Sri Lankan team. That happens because I went to this region so many years back. So my message to Sri Lankan is, so get out of that island mentality. Go out and explore things. Okay, so you can bring a lot of opportunities to the country. And then there are great opportunities, like, so don't be scared, like, just explore. And you will fail, doesn't matter.
And Sampath, when you meet these companies, your clients, when adopting the enterprise technology, what are the challenges they feel and how welcoming they are for the adoption of technology?
Yeah, one of the main challenges is actually adaptability. So everyone knows technology today, like, no one rejects technology. It's not like 20 years back. But the challenge is actually resistance to change still. How fast you can move the technology. Now, simple example, absorbing technology is one. Okay, so how fast you can absorb technology. Now look at a company, traditional organization, how fast they can acquire AI capabilities to the organization. Okay, so assume you bring AI capabilities to the organization. Second point is using technology, how to transform your organization. That is another skill set. You can bring technology. You can pay and buy technology, and you can get a consultant. But if you fail to do that transformation, business impact is low. So there are two things. One is actually investing on technology and adaptability and transforming technology into business results. And that is what matters. I still feel organizations are struggling in that area. So some companies, they wait, they will not even absorb. So basic transformation is not happening. Some companies, they absorb technology, but of course, they are not capable of doing that transformation. Of course, some companies absorb technology and doing that transformation as well. And they are in the winning league.
Okay. And now, when you are preparing an organization to remain agile and keeping this shortened technology cycle, how do you approach that? How hSenid approach that?
There's ways of looking at businesses, like, so every CEO, every board look at business differently. So some people think like, if you focus on short term, you will ignore the long term journey. Some people think we should ignore the short term and think about the long term. Our philosophy is, while working on the short term, to keep the focus long term as well. So you can do both together. Okay, if you really look at it, that's the philosophy. So, and also, we are always believing incremental changes. So if you look at in each area, if you dismantle organization, you look at each piece. See, whether it's like in areas within marketing, areas within sales, areas within delivery, product development work, there are many pieces. So you make sure all these pieces are moving in the right direction. You always try to do incremental changes, improvements. While doing those changes, you learn out of that. So first, you should make sure things happen. You keep on doing that, You keep on improving, okay? And then things are moving in the right direction. So that's what we are believing. So we look at our, like, because we are a listed company, we are responsible for our shareholders. We have to show quarterly results because we are in the process of growing our ARR, annual recurring revenue. So that is our main goal if you look at as a company, global organization. And so while working on that, you look at the long-term goal, the technology direction, how things are happening outside, how to compete with global leaders. So you do the right thing to make sure that happens as well. And one of the most important thing is focus. If leadership or the company lose the focus, then very difficult to manage. But you have to get people rally around you as well, because I'm always believing in people, my team, and our partner network. So we work with them. It is not like, so we advise and they work. No, like, we work with them. Together, like, we are trying to achieve our results.
And in an era of AI, what are the things that a business has to be mindful of to be relevant or to survive in the next couple of decades?
Yeah, your business can be relevant tomorrow, very easily.
Yes.
We know, like, I will not name some brands, like, some brands move out of the business, like, global brands. So it's very important company to understand, let's say, what is your customer demand, tomorrow's demand, and how to prepare your organization to address future demand of your customer, and how the business models are changing. Now we all know enterprise on-premise software implementation changed to SaaS, software as a service model, somewhere around 2010, 11, 12, during that time. So most of companies move to SaaS-based operation, software as a service operation. Now what is happening today? Today we are talking about the same SaaS, but today SaaS is different. Today SaaS is what? Service as a software. I'll explain further. Earlier, let's say you have a HR system on cloud, and there's HR department person using the cloud-based HR system doing a service, like recruitment area, training area. You are doing a service. There's a person using the cloud system, and you are delivering a service. Okay. What is happening now? Service as a software. The service delivered by the person now converted into software. You can say AI agent. So AI agent delivering the job, not a person. Okay. So we have to understand how the world is changing towards that. So if you are not preparing your organization to face that new challenge, you will be obsolete. So my advice to leaders is always think about what is happening globally. Don't think what is happening locally, like, think globally. So prepare your organization to face that challenge. Business models require to change, practices require to change, and your product services require to change. It is not anymore like, company will not buy your product, even software. We can say, I have fantastic product, please buy. People will not do that. People will buy capabilities. What is the capability this product deliver? For me to either cut down my cost, or improve efficiency, or earn revenue. So what capabilities are you going to deliver? That is what matters today.
And so that's the answer you have to give.
Of course, yes. If you're not doing that, they will not buy from you.
And Sampath, now IT industry, the talent is very important.
Yes.
So you said Sri Lanka has good talent, but how hSenid is retaining talent or attracting good talent?
Yeah. So things are much better now. If you really look at 3-4 years back during the financial crisis, a lot of people start migrating and going to other countries for various opportunities. But things are different, actually settled now. As I told you earlier, we work as a family, like, we work with them. There's no big hierarchies. So we work with them. So when we work with them and when you maintain transparency, and people also contribute towards the goal. On the other hand, we give them the freedom to come up with new ideas, implement their new ideas. Like it is, I personally believe people look at challenges. Okay, when you ask someone like, why don't you go to this country and spend a year and then do this, I'll back you. So they prefer to do that, and they're willing to take that challenge. So I used to share my stories and Dinesh's stories, how things happen early stage, and we motivate them to do that. So talent retention is fairly easy today compared to a couple of years back. But one important thing everyone required to understand, you have to be agile. You have to keep on polishing your skill set. That is very important. Now, simple example, software engineer traditional roles are changing into full life cycle engineering role or forward engineering role. Today we are talking about a builder. Are you capable of building something which your customer require? Okay, so you have to go and understand the customer pain point. You have to empathize the problem, and you have to come up with the design. You have to come up with the development. You have to go and deliver. You have to make sure how customer is benefiting. What is the impact you are creating? So we are talking about builders today. So the challenge is how to transform the current engineering force to a builder role. So company alone can't do so company can help them, company can guide them. But individual employee point of view, you have to be ready. So if you say, no, I'm into this silo, I'm a software engineer, I'm very comfortable, I know this language, I'm doing the development work. So it's not the era we are talking about. Okay. So can you move to other areas? Can you go and meet a customer and talk to customer and understand the pain point? Are you capable of doing that? So that's the transformation happening. I would say talent area, that is the biggest challenge now. Not the retention part, but how to transform current talent pool for the future requirements.
To be more relevant.
Modern world, yeah.
And Sampath, if I may ask, what is your strategic priorities for hSenid for the next 3 to 5 years? Where are you looking at?
Yeah. So as I told you earlier, critical priority is ARR, annual recurrent revenue. Okay. So we know our game plan. We are, if you look at last 12 months, last close financial year, we improved our annual recurrent revenue by 32%. Okay. So very similar to previous years there. So we want to continue the growth rate. That is one of our main focus. On the other hand, how to develop these overseas markets. So because we believe overseas markets will help us to develop this ARR. So that's a game plan, because that's how you can give a better value to our shareholders. Because we all believe our shareholders, and they waited almost 3+ years when we make losses for this development work. So now we are moving to a different zone altogether. So we want to deliver value to our shareholders.
Any new markets you are looking at?
At the moment, no, because these markets are pretty big. As I told you, we are talking about Philippines and Indonesia alone, 400 million population. So the working population is huge, and there are so much of opportunities in these markets.
There's much more space to
much more space, so I believe these 3 regions we are working on at the moment, that is South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Middle East and Africa. There are enough opportunities for us to operate during next few years. Okay. It doesn't mean that we are not going to other regions, but at the right time we might move to other regions as well.
And Sampath, last but not least, what would be your message for the young people who are looking at this video today, who want to enter to the IT space? What would be your message?
Of course, people are in a dilemma at the moment, and I'm getting a lot of calls asking, is it okay to get into IT degree now? This is the question.
Is it too late or not?
Or by the time we complete our IT software engineering degree, so we don't have opportunities. I want to say this, no, opportunity remain, but you have to be a little different. So if you are getting into IT degree today, don't try to be a software engineer. Don't try to be a qualification engineer. Don't try to be a business analyst. From day one, plan your game to be a builder. So who is a builder? You are capable of understanding a customer problem, designing a solution, doing a development work, delivering to customer, make sure you impact the customer. So if you are capable of doing all these things, and you have a better life, you have better earning, that's the person global market is looking for. So if someone is starting a degree today, that's a great opportunity. Okay, so you can plan for it. You can develop your communication skill, leadership skill, analytical thinking, problem solving skill. So you can develop these things while at university. You engage with social projects. multiple activities rather than just going to a class and learn and go and sit for the exam. University is a massive opportunity for you to engage with many things. And that will help you to develop your interpersonal skills, the leadership skills, to problem solving skills, to most of this stuff. So be a builder after 3 years. If someone is planning from day one, I don't think it's a difficult task to be a builder. That should be a game plan. Opportunities are there. Grab the opportunity and do your best. We Sri Lankans, we need like a lot of people. Assume 3 years, if you build 10,000 builders from Sri Lanka into the tech world, massive opportunity for the country.
Wonderful. And I think that's great advice, Sampath. Thank you very much for joining with Ambeon Insights, and thank you for sharing your insights about the company and the industry. And also, we wish all the very best to you and hSenid to reach greater heights in the future. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambeon team, for inviting me for this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you for watching Ambeon Insights, and we will be back soon with another exciting episode.